All right, so we're going to talk about AR-15 setup. So, just like everything else, I like to keep shit fucking simple. I'm not the dipshit that runs around with 2 flashlights on my rifle, 1 IR, 1 white light, a laser, a visible laser, magnifier. I don't do all that shit. I like as slick as possible. So I'm gonna give you 2 different setups here. One being pretty much the exact same setup that I used to use in the SEAL teams and in the CIA. And then the one that is actually fucking practical, I think, for being a civilian. So we'll start with the military shit, all right? So, military. I always ran a single point sling until they came out with single to doubles, which I actually made one myself. But this one is Blue Force. But honestly, one thing, if you guys haven't noticed, that happens in the gun industry, somebody comes out with something and then the whole fucking community has the exact same thing. So don't get wrapped up around it. Everybody has these, all right? I just look for the cheapest one and that's it. But I like single to double. I always shoot single point. The only time I use double is when I want to secure it tight so I can, you know, save a casualty or put a breach a door, or plant a bomb, or working on something. I like it nice and tight, sucked up to next to my body, especially when I'm climbing over walls. That's actually why I wound up making my own, because I'd be climbing over walls trying to sneak into a sniper hide, and my fucking gun would come loose from a weapons cache, and the next thing you know, it's hitting a metal gate and the whole goddamn neighborhood wakes up. So I started using single to double so I could secure it and move around smartly. So I always keep a tourniquet on my buttstock. I didn't make that up. I got it from a friend of mine who was in the SEAL teams. He was doing it, and I said, "Why the fuck do you have a tourniquet on your buttstock?" And you know, it makes a hell of a lot of sense, because you don't go anywhere with your gun, and if you get fucked up, chances are you're probably in a gunfight. So it's always going to be right there, right next to you. You just rip it off the rubber bands and put the damn thing on. So you will have to replace the rubber bands every once in a while too, because they're going to get worn out and they'll break. So I replace them every once in a while. I don't do it anymore. One thing for you newbies that are just getting into shooting, something you can do is actually tape a piece of ear protection, like a little foamy, or just tape, because you want the exact same cheek well every time you shoulder that rifle, all right? Otherwise, especially when you're shooting irons, otherwise you're never gonna have the same, group, because you're getting a different angle on those iron sights. So what I would used to do until I got really good was I would tape a foamy there, and every time I knew that that foamy was right on the corner of my mouth on the buttstock, I knew my head was in the exact same spot every single time. So if you're new and you want to get good with iron sights, I suggest doing that until it really becomes no shit muscle memory. You're not going to get muscle memory if you're shooting 50 different rifles. Pick one, set it up, and keep using it. All right, so one thing, I do change shit out. I don't change shit out very often on my pistol. I do change it out. I upgrade the shit out of a rifle, all right? So have you ever had a charging handle that's real grimy, all right? I think this is Radian. Let me take this off here. All right, never mind. Oh, this is a Geisley. Was that how you say it? This is a Geisley, and it's super smooth, which also helps with malfunctions, all right? Also, it's ambidextrous. Usually, these ARs, they come with like these little shitty charging handles, and it'll rip your fingers up. These ones are nice and big for both righty and lefties, and you can't really miss it. So it's really gonna help when you're, you know, when you gotta use that thing. Moving on, I changed this safety to the 45-degree safety, all right? I really like those. I know some people, they don't like that 90 degree, and a lot of times they come real tight. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you're that guy that's loosening up safeties, you're a fucking idiot, all right? Don't fucking do that shit. I've had people come through my courses and they're doing their own modifications and their safety's loose, and the next thing you know, they're fucking running around with a gun off safe because they tried to do some bullshit, all right? Just keep it, it's tight for a reason. Fucking keep it that way. The reason you do a 45 is because sometimes when you're pushing your thumb down to come off safe, sometimes you'll get it, it won't go all the way up to a 90, all right? So somebody came out with this 45-degree safety. I don't know who. It was a great idea. Just talk to whoever you get your guns worked on by and put that thing in, because it'll speed your initial shots up. But don't fuck with the safeties. You're on your own. Trigger, I think this is CMC flat. I like that. I recommend when you're starting out, stick with the stock trigger. You're gonna improve your shooting with a heavier group, and then when you get good, then you put in a nicer trigger, and you'll be that much better. But there are no fucking shortcuts, just like anything else. If you try to mask all your little errors, you're just gonna be a shitty shooter no matter what the fuck's on your gun. So, you know, another thing with the trigger group and like the safety and the mag release, which is, this is the mag release right here. A lot of times I'll see people and they get this little, I don't even know what the hell you call it, but it's like a little piece of metal and it comes around here, and then your mag release is, and your bolt catch, or bolt release is right here, all right? I think that's just too much shit going on your rifle. It gets caught on stuff, and it just clutters it, okay? If you're an operator, you already have enough shit that you need on this gun, okay? You don't need all the little fucking cool trinkets that, you know, all the range monkeys put on their shit, okay? You don't want that stuff getting caught up on stuff. Sights, moving on to sights. I use two different types of sights, all right? For combat shooting, I like fixed front and rear irons, okay? Because if this thing breaks, or whatever optic I'm using breaks, I don't have to go time out. I need to flip my sights up real quick, all right? I can just go transition straight to irons, all right? I think I've seen one EOTech in all of my days actually break, and it was shot. But I have seen aim points break, not very many, but I've seen a shit ton of other optics break, and the last thing you want to do is be in the middle of a engagement where you have no cover and go time out, I need to fucking put my sights back up. So I like running fixed sights when I'm running a red dot. That way it's just, I can change it, or I can transition right away. Moving forward, these lasers, all right? This is a B.E. Myers Mall, okay? It's got visible and IR, all right? If you don't have nods, here's my opinion on lasers. If you don't have nods, you don't fucking need it, all right? The only time I used a laser, if I didn't have nods, is if I was putting the dot right on somebody's chest, just to let them know, hey, back the fuck off, I mean business. When somebody has a laser on their chest or on their body, they know, like, this might be the end real soon. So they tend to listen. But in civilian life, you probably, you know, don't need to be doing that. So, I mean, if you want to waste your money and get, you know, a $3,000 laser, go ahead. But it's not really going to do you any good. However, if you do get one, they make these little switches that go connect to your flashlight and your laser. If you get this B.E. Myers, you really don't need that, all right? It's just an extra piece of something that you put on your rifle that you're gonna have to tape up or zip tie up, because if you don't, then it'll get in the way. It already has these pressure pads. So the way I line mine up is flashlight and then my laser controls, okay? That way I just flip back and forth. If I put that on there, the switch, then I just have extra shit that I don't really need, okay? Now, if you're using the other one, the AT peels that are made, I think they're made by L3, which is actually what I used to use, then yeah, it makes perfect sense because the buttons aren't right in line with the flashlight, okay? So, grip, forward grip. Come on, all right. So, forward grip, this thing right here. All right, the broomstick. I like, for combat shooting, I like the forward grip. I like a metal one because I've seen the plastic ones break. I know Magpul is, and I'm talking about the old school broomsticks. I've seen break. Magpul makes some plastic ones. They're a little bit lighter. I don't think those things are gonna break because they're so short. But I like metal because it's pretty much guaranteed not to fucking break. I could still shoot a C grip if I want to, all right? But basically why I like these vertical grips is when I come through a doorway or if I want to strike somebody, then I have a hell of a lot more leverage with my thumb behind this to drive that thing through whatever's in front of me that I need to drive it through, okay? If I have a C grip like this, I mean, you can just tell right off the bat, if if you're at home and you're watching this and you have your AR-15, just try it. And then try something like this and you'll see the amount of energy that you can deliver to whatever you need to deliver it to is gonna be a hell of a lot more when you have that leverage of your thumb running right behind that.